Hey guys, and welcome back to another New World video. So this is probably going to be a one-off experiment video. We'll see how it goes. But basically our server is dying. So nowhere is very low pop. It's at peak times, maybe at 500. And I wanted to see where I'm gonna move to. So I already created new characters, and some of the servers had a little look around just to see, how the balance is between factions. But one of the concerns that was raised by other people as well, saying, oh, if I move to a populated server, I won't be able to make any money. It's already established. Everybody's already completely flooding the market with things, especially if there's more players. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little experiment. We're going to join a high population server. One of the servers I was going to choose anyway, within reason, of course. We're not going to join one with a 4-hour queue, and we're purely going to focus our leveling experience around making money. That means main story quests, of course, as much as possible, because they do give you good money. We're also going to be very heavily focusing on gathering and not as much on crafting, except for 1 or 2 crafting skills, which are kind of essential, I think. The initial servers I wanted to go to were Asgard or Hades. Now, in Asgard, I made a test character just to have a little look around, and there was really very little queues, but that's now, again, 1.5-hour queues. Then we have Hades, which is sitting at about 4-hour queues. So Amenti seems to be a server right now where there is 1,900 people online right now on a Thursday evening out of 2,000. So that is really, really good. It means probably much bigger queues on the weekend, but for our little test, it should be doing absolutely fine. The queues shouldn't be too long. So let's go to Amenti in Vanaheim Tau and see how we get on. Make money bags, that will have to do. Yes, MC money bags was already taken, so we're gonna go with the alternative of make money bags. We're starting in First Light, which in the context of making money is quite nice because the herbs here drop resources which should sell nicely on the auction house. We're not gonna rush into the first quest right now. We're going to collect some wood from bushes and pick up some flint so that we can make our first tools and prepare well for straight away starting to gather resources. There we go, pick, sickle, logging axe, and skinning knife. When it comes to the perks, we're not interested in increasing our XP as fast as possible. We're interested in money. So gathering is going to be one of the perks that we're going to pick. Oh, look at that. We even already get tier 4. Yes, tier 4 resource drops. Nice. And now we also start seeing money already given to us from salvaging. So it's only a quarter of a gold, but salvaging 4, that's a gold piece. Excellent. We're fully kitted out now with the weapons that we want to start skilling up. And that is the hatchet for individual mobs. And then we have the great axe for when we have to fight 3 or more mobs. And we get level 20 harvesting. We haven't even left the starter area. So what we want to achieve very quickly is harvesting 25, so we can track hemp and farm plants. That way we can speed up how we gather. Then we want to also get mining as quickly as possible to 10, so we can start gathering silver. And then, of course, oil as well. That's going to be very valuable. And we want to get it to 50 as quickly as possible as well, so we can do alchemy stones, which is basically the magical resources, the motes and everything. And we want to do the same for harvesting, because at 30 though, not at 50, for harvesting it's 30, we get the magical plants, which again give us the motes and everything, which should hopefully be a very good moneymaker. At 20, you're also going to start seeing these symbols on the radar there on the compass, which could be berries or nuts. And if you come across nuts, definitely pick them up. I don't think nuts actually increase your harvesting, but they still get tracked for some reason. But they don't actually increase your harvesting skill, but they still sell for quite a lot of money because nuts are used in, I think, a lot of the trade skill recipes. And we now reached level 30 harvesting, which means we can now look out for magical plants. Now, another thing to do, to be smart about, is to give us the ability to collect as much as possible of the starting resources. So to level up to 15 harvesting, we're going to collect a lot of berries. So let's move them into the hotbar because they are really the heaviest we have. And once you move items in the hotbar, boom, the weight is gone. It's not going to get counted anywhere. So let's move the pork also over here and leave the travel rations and everything in here, because we are going to hopefully level up to 50 with skinning, which means we're going to get a lot more pork. And having it in the hotbar just helps a lot. And we're level 45. Beautiful. We now have magical plants unlocked to be able to track. They unlock at 30 to harvest, but now we can actually see them on our compass, which is going to help us a lot to speed up our harvesting. And here we go, mining level 10. which now allows us to mine silver veins. I think it's time to go to the first settlement now. We have about 520 berries. We leveled up our harvesting quite a lot to the point of level 59. We are at 32 skinning. Logging, I'm not sure if that's important yet to make money, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it up front. We'll see what the prices are first for wood. And then mining we have at 12 as well, which allows us silver. Now fishing, again, I have to look more into it, where we can make the money. I know that large salmon sell for quite a lot on the auction house, so we might start fishing as well. The refining skills I want to get up as well, but we're gonna have to find the balance between, if the raw materials sell for more than the product, like a lot more, we're gonna have to find a balance where we sell some raw materials and some products. But in general, we want to try to refine as much as possible and then sell the refined product so we can level up our refining skills, because there's a lot of money to be made as well in the later stages. And crafting skills, I'm not sure exactly yet which ones I'm gonna level up. Cooking will probably be one of them, but I'm not really sure about the other ones yet. Probably Arcana, but I'm not 100% certain yet. We also have our first iron now, and we have more silver over there, so that's not a bad start at all, and that's still on the way to the settlement. And this here is the magical mining nodes that we're after. We need to be level 50 for that, and they give us the motes and other magical resources, which are really good for Arcana, and they sell quite well on the auction house. And over here we have the equivalent for harvesting, which we already can harvest, which give us motes as well, or other special drops depending how lucky you get on the RNG. And we have our first motes. Okay, I just did a bit of research on the auction house, and Everfall seems to be the place where we want to have our main hub. That's where we want to start leveling up and make sure that we have all our resources there for selling on the auction house. I also did a quick search on the basic resources like rawhide, for example. If we actually want to level up our refinement skills and we turn it into coarse leather, we can still sell it at a decent price. The same goes for green wood. Green wood sells for 7 cents, and you need, I think, 5 green wood to make a timber. And the timber itself sells for 29 approximately. So it's definitely worth it to level up our refinement skills in the greater scheme of things and then sell the end product. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do in the beginning to make money before we get to Everfall, where we're going to list everything on the auction house, is specific town projects. Now, some of the town projects are very easy, like the ones that allow you to explore. Always select them when you go out to harvest. You get past these areas, you know, that's an extra 4 gold just to be there and actually pick usually containers that give you resources to sell anyway. And then cooking, I want to level up, because cooking is another skill that allows you to make some money when you get into the trade skill foods, which is all the foods that give people more luck for mining, harvesting, or for weapons crafting, armor crafting, increased gear scores. So that's definitely worth selling. Now, these things here, I'm not going to go out of my way to do that, but I'm selecting them in case I come past these things as I'm on my travels. So you better have them and then cancel them than not have them. When it comes to things like salmon, I'm not going to buy them. They're usually very expensive because large salmon are really thought after for these type of quests. So they're not going to be very cheap to buy from the auction house, and they take forever to fish for. So not really something I see myself spending a lot of time on right now. Now, when it comes to our weapons and our tools that we're using, I'm probably not going to craft them myself. We could craft ourselves the iron stage, and that would be pretty much the same as, selling the resources and taking the money and or buying. It would be kind of much of a muchness. But once it gets to higher than iron or the higher gear scores, you don't want to continuously level up your weapons crafting and armor skill crafting, because we're not interested in that. That doesn't make us any money right now. And there's bags to be made from armor crafting, but you need to level it up quite a lot to get to the bags that make money, and there's a lot more investment, so I don't think that would be of interest right now in us trying to make gold early. But we can see right here, for example, a hatchet, even at a higher gear score, is only about, 5 gold. So we are going to find the cheaper versions of all the weapons. And even if the stats are not perfect, and this has dexterity, so it's actually not too bad. Strength and dexterity for 494, that's brilliant. So we're going to find something there that we don't have to worry about gathering resources for crafting, but just being able to gather the resources to level up our refinement and then sell everything. Right outside the settlement, over here on the farm, we have some nice potatoes and carrots and strawberries. They should hopefully all sell nicely as well. Or even better, instead of having to buy one, we find one. And we hit mining level 20. Now we can do seeping stone, which will give us oil. Yes, so we're definitely going to go with Arcana. Now we're going to have to make a lot of weak health potions first. We're not going to be able to sell them, but it's important to get our Arcana up, because that is later on going to unlock the wisps and the essences and all those shenanigans that are gonna make us more money. So we're going to use only our hyssop so we don't waste too many of our resources. And once I have more water, we're gonna make more of those. Now we're nearly ready to head over to Everfall. I just want to finish the initial quest where you have to pick a faction, and then we're gonna head off and wander over yonder. But just checking out some of the cooking recipes that we already can do. Roasted carrots, for example, we can do. Now let's have a look and see how much we would get for nutmeg and carrots and honey, and then compare them to roasted carrots if we would be able to sell that on the market. Assuming honey is something that people buy, we're talking about 20 cents. Let's talk about 15 cents. If we find buy orders in Everfall, that would even be better. I would sell it for 10 cents. I have no issue with that. It's just quick money in and out, not waiting for the auction house. So that would be about, say, 15. Then we have nutmeg, which sells as a staggering 6 gold. Wow. So I don't think roasted carrots are gonna sell for that much. Roasted carrots are actually about 6 gold. So what I might do is actually make roasted carrots or all that stuff for myself a little bit, so that while I'm mining or while I'm out doing things, my luck is a little bit increased. And we're gonna be definitely selling the resources otherwise. When it comes to picking a faction, I will pick the faction that basically owns the towns where we do the most sales in the auction house, which is Everfall and Windsword. Now, Everfall has a war coming up, so they could be losing it, but in the end of the day, we're gonna pick Marauders right now, and we can always, I think, change faction once, and then we have a 120-day cooldown. So right now, Marauders is the choice to go. We're just stopping by at Windsword and checking out if we can get rid of some stuff. I have my bags filled with all the things we have collected so far and that we want to sell, and it would be good to get rid of some things so we can pick up more on the way to Everfall. And one of the things that actually seems to be selling here in Windsword with a buy order is death mods. So there's 61 and they sell for 80 on the auction house. So yeah, I would say that's a good bargain. We're not losing out too much. So death modes, let's check that out and sell them all. There you go. There's our first money made from the auction house. Coarse sandpaper, also not too bad. It's listed for 35 and it's selling for 22. There's another 5. Iron ingots selling for 42 and listing for 69. So that is not that much of a difference. So we're probably going to go ahead with the iron ingots as well. And another 24 gold. Life modes also listed for 31, selling for 21 to buy orders. So we're going to sell all our life mods to buy orders as well. Weak solvent also is very close with a price of 19, but selling for 13 to buy orders. So we're going to sell that as well. Now this is all small coins, but it's all adding up right now in the beginning, allowing us to purchase other things like bags and weapons and tools. And with earth modes, we also are very close. We would lose out on about 2 golds. We're making, if we're selling it through the auction house, we would make about 12 gold, and selling it right now here, we make about 10 gold something. So let's actually do the buy order. There we go. Oh yeah, and then we have to have the fee, of course, as well. So that's fine. That's about a 2 gold loss, which I'm not too worried about. Yeah, we're gonna sell the timber as well. That's pretty close to the auction house price as well. And squash is selling for 0.1, and it's as a buy order for 0.08, which is nearly identical. And that's it for now in Windsword. So let's move on to Everfall. We lightened our bags by quite a bit, and we are at 205 gold, which is not bad at all for a start. We're finally in Everfall, and the first thing I'm gonna do is go through everything that has a viable buy order and sell it. And then we're gonna go and list everything else. Like say coarse leather, for example, is like 0.1, but it sells for up to 0.42. So we would be setting the price there for 0.4, sell it everything, and probably list it for a day. I mean, let's see how it works. If we don't sell much after a day, we list it for 3 days and so on. So I'd rather start small, save a little bit of money, and then relist it again if I have to. And then we know better and can increase the days. Blueberries are close to the listing price. Linen looks close enough. Very nice. I'm gonna list our silver ingots for 0.35. It's a little bit more expensive than this, but there's only 4. So it should be okay to sell them at the next lowest price. Only for 1 day as well. Coarse leather already sold all out, so there was an easy 48 gold we just made. We're gonna list the crossed weave. I don't know if that's gonna be worth it, so in future we might just hold on to it and use it, or just throw it out, or sell it for 0.01 quickly. We'll see how quickly that one will sell. Death modes is listed at 67 and wanted at 60, so we're going to sell that. Milk is pretty close as well. So I'm gonna sell that to the buy order. Gonna list our reeds. I'm not sure exactly what reeds are used for, but they seem to have a good price, so let's see if they sell. Gonna list the dill for 95 cents. That should hopefully sell as well. Now, nutmeg, if that sells, that's gonna be a big money maker. I mean, even if we're gonna end up not being able to sell it on the auction house, but having to sell it directly to people, there's not a lot being looked after, but we'll see if it sells. We're gonna offer it cheaper, and then we go from there. So that's not bad. It should make us about 230 gold profit if we sell all of them. Well, life modes are pretty identical. Honey, pretty much the same. Let's list our cabbage for about 38. Yeah, we're gonna sell all the sunflux as well for 20. It's listed for 28, but that's okay. And list our saffron for 69. And again, this is all first time trial and error, so whatever doesn't sell, we're gonna start selling it obviously to buy orders if we have to. We're gonna list our spuds. So I nearly actually sold the cinnamon for 180 to the buy order, but I looked at the available sales and they are listed only as 1. And then the next big bulk kind of shows up here at 213. So I think what I'm going to do is list them at 210 and see if that works. I have a feeling the same person might be listing them to make it look like closer. So we're going to sell them because the difference is that we're going to make approximately 53 gold selling them here compared to 48 gold selling them here. So this is a bit risky, but we're going to try that out. Let's list our nuts for 0.57. And carrots we're going to list at 23. Our life bloom stems, which also comes from the life blooms where you get the life motes from. That's just a byproduct. And then you have a green version byproduct, which is the life bloom leaf, I believe. And then you have the blue one, which is the one that can sell, depending on the server, from anything from like 50 to 150. So it really depends on the server. They're very rare, and a lot of people don't use them in leveling up Arcana because there's other recipes you can use, but some want them, so you might get lucky. I sold them on the other server, again, for about 150. So we're listing the life bloom stems here for 52. And oh, look at that. We just sold our ingots, our silver ingots as well. Very nice. And our mushrooms we're gonna list for 0.45. Picked up some more squash along the way. We're just gonna sell that to the buy order straight away. Gonna list our melons for 0.38. We're gonna list our corn. Our poultry goes also on the auction house. Cauliflower is another big money maker. I have a very nice route where I can get about 50 after an hour, but definitely worth selling. We'll see how fast they sell. Now, fire modes seem to be pretty close in price. Now, I know I don't have a lot of items right now, and a lot of items I'm listing like for 0.2 or maybe 0.3. Some of the items we just won't list anymore until we have like 1,000 of them at some point once we have more money, and then we're gonna focus on grinding others rather than the cheaper ones. We're trying to focus on the ones that, you know, sell for 2, 3, 4 gold at a time. But right now we have no money, so we're selling everything as much as we can. Entangle Wisp we're going to list as well. So I think the other things I'm not going to bother listing unless they have a very high sale price, because there is a minimum listing fee. So basically, if something sells for 14, it would be worth it if we have like 1,000 of them and we put them in. So you can see the listing fee for 1. If I make it 0.01. The listing fee is 51, so that is a minimum listing fee. I think they put that in as a countermeasure for people just listing one item at a time and overflowing the auction house with these weird listings. So they make it basically cheaper for you on a listing fee if you have more items. But having only 4 or 5 items, even at 0.15, I mean, the listing fee is nearly as much as the earnings in that case, so, or even more in some cases. So we're not going to list anything where we have so little unless I have items which like sell like for 8 or 9 gold or something like this. Then we're going to list it. But otherwise we're going to hold on to them until we have like hundreds of them. Now onions are different. Onions are selling here for 8 gold. Even if we would sell them at 417 straight away, the listing fee here is only 1 because it's it's a very small amount, but it's 8.45 per onion, so we still would make a profit of 23 gold at least after all the transaction fees and the taxes and everything have been deducted. So that's definitely worth listing, even if we only have 3 of them right now. Same for the eggs. See if they actually sell the onion, the egg. I don't even know if somebody's going to buy them at those prices. So yeah, let's place that. 12.91. If that actually sells, I know how we can go egg hunting, so that should be interesting. Yeah, void metal we're gonna list as well at 4 gold. That's not bad, even though we only have 2. That's definitely worth it. Now the flawed onyx for 5.65. So even after the 10%, or sorry, 2.5% taxes and everything, we're still gonna make 4.88 even with the listing fee. However, once we have our stone cutting leveled up, this could be more profitable to actually buy them ourselves out with these orders. Because if you look at the flawed onyx, I think you need 3 of them or 4 of them to make the onyx. So if we're going to list this now, let's have a look at the onyx. Here we go. And the onyx is actually selling for 24.99. So if you can get for 4 of them, you make a 5 profit. And I think you can take 3 of them and turn them then to the brilliant onyx, and they sell at 80. So you have 3 times 25, that's 75. So you basically make a little profit. But the bonus here is that when your stone cutting is high enough, you actually can get a chance, like 15% chance to duplicate. So every time you merge like several flawed onyx into an onyx, you could get a chance of getting an extra onyx. And every extra one is an extra 24.99. So if you proc really luckily, like, and get 2 or 3 extra, there you go. There's like 75 gold just free. And the same happens with the brilliant onyx. So right now we're gonna sell everything, but just to show you this, that later on it might be worthwhile to put your own buy orders in to get them cheaper and convert them all the way up the chain, you know, to see how many bonuses you get and make the profit. All right, that's it. I don't want to list anymore. I need the fiber for a quest and to hand that in. Otherwise, I would sell it as well. The iron ore I want to convert to ingots before I sell it, and so we level up our refinement. But overall, I'm pretty happy. A lot of things I don't expect to sell, even though we are offering them the cheapest, because I don't know if they actually thought after. A lot of things I know that will sell because I leveled up on my most of the crafting skills to 100 to 150 already, and have my refining skills already up as well a lot, so I know what we need for a lot of things and what will sell. But if you look at some of these mods, for example, here that give you effects on anything, a lot of them are useless. Like this small quartz here, for example, has a good stat like constitution and strength, but there's just so much of that, and it drops at such a high frequency, it's completely overrun the auction house with it, so it's not worth selling. You might as well just pull it in the trash, because you're not going to pay 0.51 gold to list it just to sell it for 0.01. So I don't actually know why they listed, to be honest, in the first place, because that sounds like you're just making a loss. But some that we will find hopefully going forward, like the other stone, for example, the sliver of other stone, that can sell for probably, like, I don't know, on our server it was 300 sliver of other stone. That one is very thought after because it gives you the extra pockets, and there you go, 228.99. Now it's a very low drop chance, but once we get our mining up, we gotta go after these type of things as well. Okay, I've just gone over the figures now. We started at about 204 gold 71 after we listed the coarse leather, so the listing fee of that was already deducted from that. But since then, between the items we fully sold and the items that we partially sold, we made 93.33 from that. And then all the items that I sold directly to buy orders, which you don't see anywhere here, were a value of 96.98. So in total, we started at 204.21, we ended at 394.52 so far, and that was really quick. While I listed things, items were selling. We made a total profit so far just from that of 190 gold 31. Now that is not a lot, but it's a very good start. So I'm very happy with this progress. We'll see what sells overnight while I'm doing other things, and I'm gonna let this run, and then we're gonna formulate a plan. We're going to next episode start looking at faction quests, which give you a huge bonus to your gold that you get from them for the first 3. So we're gonna see the ones that give us the most profit, and then we're gonna see what's sold a lot so we can gauge what we should be focusing on gathering. And then we're going to look at new items, you know, and see how they sell, you know, like especially from herbs, drops that are around Everfall. And we're going to go from there. If you know of any items or anything that you think sells well or you know sells well on your server, now nothing that obviously requires high crafting because we start from nothing, let me know in the comments below. I'm definitely looking forward to reading all your ideas as well. So I hope you had a good time with the video. If you did, remember to kick that like button in the balls, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, and see you guys next time. Until then, as always, viel Spaß and happy gaming.